Hey there guys, and welcome to another Krozzfyre cast. I am here today to show you a 2v2 on the... I hate this map so much, but it's Moscow Outskirts. It's in the summer version as well. I picked this from Ko2 replay section. It's really great, guys. If you've not used it, go and have a look at it. ko2.org, really great community site. Lots of replays, lots of tactics, really interesting forums, and all the Relic staff use it as well to interact with all the us gamers, which is really cool. It's really nice to have that community feeling. But anyway, I've seen this replay on there. I've not watched it yet, but Mr. Wolflite, who sent it in to us, has asked for a bit of help. He's actually struggling with this. I mean, I played Russians a lot as 2v2 as well, and this is one of the maps I struggle on. I've had a lot of work on this, so I think I know. I think I'm starting to crack the nut a little bit with how to actually win with 2v2 Soviet on this map. But let's see what Wolflite and his partner get up to, and we'll see what we can do for him. Hopefully, try and give some hints and tips for himself and his partner. And have a good time, right? Okay, rock and roll. So without further ado, let's get this shindig on the go. So, like I say, Mr. Wolflite actually sent this to us. So this is Wolflite here, it's Common Engineers. His partner in crime is going to be AlibiFire, who's going to go for an early special rifle command. So he's going to be getting his scout cars out, he's going to be getting his snipers out, etc. And real quick, I'm going to pause right there actually. Now this is something I've been working on, and something I think which is really important actually for Soviets. The initial Soviet power in the early game comes from swarming the map. You're able to control lots of different points easy enough with a big ton of infantry pushes, conscripts, etc., etc. However, if you've both got conscripts, you're very vulnerable to like MGs, etc. I mean, you're going to get caught out very quickly. So when you're building a building like this, the Soviet buildings take about a minute to build. I don't know like the actual time, but it's a very long time. Okay. And now what he could be doing with this unit instead is, instead of building the building straight away, he's not going to have enough manpower to get out a sniper, and he's not going to have enough fuel to get out a scout car straight away anyway. So what he can do, he can actually send this guy to go and cap this point. Just stand right at the very corner of the point and cap that way. When he's finished doing that, then he'll first thing you should build then is a conscript squad. The whole reasoning behind this sort of stratagem theory is that you always want a unit capping. So you'll get out a conscript squad, he can start running around capping all the points up, because as I say, he'll be sat there for about a minute with no capping power whatsoever. So if he sends his engineers out here, he caps up this point. As soon as that point's capped, he's going to be around about the sort of 240 manpower mark for that first building. Sorry, 200 manpower, excuse me, for tier 1 building, 240 for the tier 2. So what you can do, you can just run them back, and you actually build this building right up here. Okay, it actually gives you a bit of a better, it's a bit better to build this base unit further away, as your units can reinforce off it there. So if you run all the way back into base and then you start running out back into the field again, by the time he hits that building, he can sort of continue reinforcing. So you'll have a nice area around here where you'll still be able to reinforce from and be closer to the fight. So that's my initial sort of thought process then, and you're not going to be too far behind on terms of getting your sniper out, getting your scout car out. The scout car will be around about ready, maybe slightly longer by the time you finish that building after capping the point, and the sniper shouldn't be too long after that. You can build them whichever way you prefer in terms of what goes out first. Let's continue. I mean, we're only 20 seconds into the game here, and I want to be following Wolflite slightly more than his partner. And whilst these guys are building and capping away, I'm going to quickly switch over just to show you who we're playing against. So we've got Horsa here then, and we've also got his partner Monkey. So these guys, I checked them out as they're loading up. They're around about level 60-ish, and they've both got Opel commanders on as well. That's another point which I'll raise up probably in another video. But here we see then the conscripts coming out now for Wolflite. He's going to start capping up the map. He's chosen to cap this munitions point up first. It's not bad, okay? The whole thing with pioneers and combat engineers is that they are pretty poor. Unless they're fighting each other, they don't really stand much of a chance against any other units. So what you want to do on this kind of map is send your engineers a different way to your conscripts, as he's doing here. So he should cap up down all these side points here now, or try to just queue them all up with his engineer squad, because he's not really going to encounter much. If he does encounter something, he can easily enough get it away. And you can see his partner's doing the same thing now. He's capping up the sides, because the main focus of what you want is in this sort of, as you can see in the minimap, this central area, which is enclosed with, it's got roads around it, it's got houses plenty, a lot of walls, a lot of cover. The reason for this is you're closer to your ally, okay? And the main thing with team games is that you can partner up with your ally and obviously go out and actually do a significant amount of damage to one player in particular, if you like to sort of focus on that. So a bit of a mistake here. I mean, I see what he's trying to do with this conscript squad. He wants to send this conscript squad aggressively down here and try and cap this point up. It's not the best idea, especially if he's trying to sort of focus on this section and this VP and fuel area, because he's missing this he's missing this cutoff point. So I mean, all he's got is his munitions point. He's wasted time getting this territory point, because now, you know, he's not getting anything from it, and he's pushed off actually from these pioneers. What he could have done there, he could have just ignored them and tried to jump straight in the building. They would have capped the VP, yes, but he would have had a significant amount of armor difference and be able to get out of there. Meanwhile, this conscript squad now is pinned by the in-base MG, and I believe you got sniped as well, and the Grenadiers. So he didn't have anything to back that up with, unfortunately. So it was a bit laissez-faire, you know. He wasn't really sort of going for it as much as he could have. And we do see MG play out now as well from the German army. Okay, so he's got his conscripts out. He's got 3 conscripts and he's upgraded to Molotovs. That's kind of a good call for the Molotovs, because he knows his MGs. There's lots of buildings here, so he didn't just rush into the decision. You can't just make Molotovs for the sake of making Molotovs. There he was, a very nice Molotov off there on these pioneers. He knows he's been sniped, so he's going to start walking away from the sniper, which is good, because then obviously the sniper will have to walk after him. This conscript squad here, I'd like to see him move into cover possibly. He's run the wrong way. He could have probably picked off that engineer squad there. Sorry, the pioneer squad if he was in cover. He wanted to throw this Molotov. It's not the best Molotov. It does do quite a bit of damage as they didn't sort of pick up on it. A better player would have moved and sort of recognized it straight away. This Ura as well now. I don't know why he's Uraing. Uraing is just a speed buff really. Yeah, so he's just wasted 5 munitions there. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's still significant. This conscript squad now, real danger now. I mean, I think he's trying to bait out with his partner, this sniper. But there you are. He's going to have to get out of there now. And you can see he's got no hold on any real part of the map, because he's going to be back capped up here. They've gone for his cutoff as well. So this pioneer squad, he's going to try and cap. He's going to try and decap the fuel, but eventually he's going to be pushed off as well. 4 conscripts out now then, which is, you know, it's an okay start, especially if your partner is going tier 1 or tier 2. It's the best way to sort of have that meat shield, but he's still got enough damage. So I imagine he's going to be going hit the dirt. He does have the commander, and it's good 1v1 play. It's not excellent 2v2 play, and I'll cover that later on. It's just my thoughts about it. But his partner now, he's been able to cap up all this side of the map. He's got a scout car out, and he's got penal squads, which are actually upgraded with the flamers, which is nice to see. I mean, those satchel charges are deadly if you can catch them in the right places. So I did hear some mines going down. Yep, so he's mined up the VP, which is nice. Always be mining, guys. If you haven't got any reason to spend your munitions, like with Hit the Dirt, you don't have a great amount of munitions to spend on things because your upgrade is only 20 munitions, so that's fine. He's fine to sort of mine up everywhere, and he's going to be able to decap that fuel, which is nice. So it makes it about balance for the fuel. So a nice little push now. He's got these 2 conscripts going in with the backed up conscript squad in there, followed by the penal battalion, which could get off a very nice satchel charge if he threw it now. I mean, that's a lot of groped up units, but he's going to eat a grenade. I mean, I don't know if he has the munitions for it or if he didn't notice it. But this pioneer squad actually goes down, which is nice. There's the satchel charge. Far too late, though. See that area? It's huge. He would have caught all of those units and probably killed them all if he got that nicely done. And he's going to continue pushing with these conscripts now. It's very dangerous because they're in cover and he's not, but that's a very nice Molotov. 2 Molotovs. So he's doing decent damage there. There you are. He's going to have to get out of there. Again, this Ura is not needed. It wasn't a necessary Ura, but it's not the end of the day. End of the world, sorry. This guy here, he ran past him. I think he might have been trying to evade this MG. I'm not too sure. He might have been able to get off that one squad. He could, and it's a nice clown car now as well. Taking down this MG while he just absorbs some of the fire. So this MG is going to run away. I don't know if he's going to get it. Is he going to get it? He does get it, which is huge if he's able to recap it now. But we do see an upgunned scout car, which will counter very easily. This scout car just melts straight away. This flamer squad will be able to push out these guys from the building. Quick pause, because as I mentioned about 6 minutes ago, he didn't take his cutoff point, and he hasn't defended the cutoff point whatsoever either, which means this this engineer squad, which has done a good job capping up all down here and placing a bit of mines and things like that, this is all useless. This is all useless to him. He's not getting anything because he's cut off from this point here. Look, you can see where the cutoff is. And if you go up the tactical command as well, you can see it. Look, I mean, you have to have your territories adjoined to benefit from the income you get from them. He needs to take that, or at least defend that cutoff point if he wants to continue holding this area. But they're doing kind of the right thing. They're sort of focusing on one half of the map and only having like one capping unit on the other half of the map. So it's a good way of playing. They're playing nicely together. They're backing each other up and complementing each other. So we'll see what happens now with the Germans and how they're going to sort of push back against them. And continuing the play, let's back out of that and let's have a look over here. So Penal Squad, wow, look at that damage. It's unbelievable. Those satchel charges are hugely deadly. I mean, look, he's got his veteran, he's even got 5 kills on him, but he's thrown 2 satchel charges, I think, and you know, he's wiped the unit, which is huge. So he's going to recover this, his partner's going to recover this MG. No, he's going to recover it. I think they both went for it, they both wanted it, which is fine. Something he could do now if he wanted to keep this MG out in the field is just to reinforce it with his other conscript squad by pressing D if you've got grid keys on, to actually merge a squad, which is just right here. So we can see he's gone hit the dirt now, he's getting the guard rifle out, and he's got to hit the dirt, which is going to give him that defense bonus. They're pushing out towards the middle of the map now, and he's finally taking this cutoff point, but he's getting he knows now that there's a half track out. Are we going to see some flamers? Possibly. We haven't seen that many. Rifle nades going off, so we can assume we haven't seen an upgraded LMG either. So we assume he's got enough munitions to go for it. But you can see that the map control is majority in the Soviet control. However, there's no fuel for them. This fuel has now been cut off. This fuel has been taken as well. So the fuel is slightly in favor of the Russians. But then again, they haven't spent a great deal of fuel. Now he's actually building another engineer squad. I'm a little bit curious about that. I mean, I know later on in the game it's nice to have it because he's sorry, I just had to laugh at that. He threw a Molotov at this. It's not a great use of munitions. It's 25 munitions and look how much damage it did. I mean, he's much better off if he's able to throw it over here. He might be able to burn this haystack that they're all hiding behind and do a nice bit of damage. You know, a bit of a waste there. But you sometimes make those little mistakes, and quite often they build up. This flamer guy should be able to take down this this OP though if he's paying attention, which he is, which is nice. So this again, okay. He's got so many units. He sent 2 units here to cap, plus there's another 1 unit capping. You should always pay attention to these things because look, these guys are now dead in the water. They're not doing anything. This MG is only turned around. He's not been reinforced. This guy is just moving off as well. So it's quite a bit of delay. He's not sort of focusing on all of his units. You can tell that he's focusing on 1 or 2. He's gonna not eat the rifle nade, which is a very nice micro there from AlibiFire. We see this guy is just more annoying more than anything. I mean, has he got 18 nades? He's got 18 nades up as well. What I'd really recommend at the moment is getting his ooh, huge push. I'm going to have a quick pause here actually while I talk about this. I really recommend that he gets his field infirmary up right away. You only really need 1 between the 2 of you. You can share it, and it's effectively sharing the load. You know, there's no point in you both getting it because yes, it takes a little bit longer if you've got all of your infantry going back at once, but I mean, it's 250 manpower. That's so you could get another squad with that, for example. You can get a lot of things with that, a lot of reinforcements off. So something he could have thought about. And obviously it's preserving his units. So we can see he's got a couple of units up top here. He's got this full squad, by the way, full squad of conscripts, which is damaged. So that's going to heal him right up. He's going to start saving that manpower, which is really important. It's the whole manpower attrition of the Red Army. If you can do more damage to your opponent through manpower, you might lose more troops. But if you take out, if he takes out 1 Panzer Grenadier, he can lose 2 conscripts. So it's all about sort of playing the math in your head. But as I say, I'm going to have a quick look over the map now. We've got this nice little infantry push coming out here. This MG is running into his death because he's not set up. So he's probably going to be claimed back. Nice push here now as well. He's got a very mixed force. Very difficult to deal with because how do you deal with it? You know, he's got pretty much everything in there. The best way to do it, I mean, if he was using this MG slightly better, he could have brought it over. Where's his guards rifles? His guards rifles are on the wrong side of the map, unfortunately. He sent them off when he should be keeping those with his bulk of his army, because that's where they do their most effective combat. You know, if they're able to pin one of those vehicles, or button a vehicle, sorry, that's being annoying, especially that flamer. You start doing some damage to the light vehicles as well. But at the moment, all he's got is 18 and it takes a lot of conscripts to run up just to 18 something, just run away again. He's going to get sniped. I mean, a pack crew, sorry, this gun wouldn't really help him out that much, because that sniper is going to do a lot of damage. He's got a lot of flanking opportunities here as well. So it's difficult. They really need to sort of converge their armies to deal with this. Very nice, by the way, mixed force he's got out from Monkey. We'll see what happens anyway. So this MG is going to be... yeah, he's running away, actually. There we are, look. That sniper does take off one more kill as well from there. So we got this engineer squad not doing much. We've got these guards now encountering some trouble. So I think he was probably just trying to hunt this scout card down. He's buttoned it. It's not a good button. Look at the damage he's done to it. Nothing at all. The way you want a button is when you've got a nice rear armor shot. So as this guy was driving away, now we wanted to button it right there. He's going to get some pinging shots on the back armor and start knocking it down quite nicely. So this big push has now moved into the middle. As we can see, again, it's just this unit sort of unit awareness. He's got these two conscripts still on that fuel point, not doing anything. If you notice your teammate doing that, just ping it. Just make sure he's aware that he's not using his full army to his potential. Okay, so this car did actually push away the scout car. He's going to be able to cap up the fuel. So you have a slight fuel advantage once again. However, he is floating 122 fuel at the moment. That's fine. It's fine because it takes 90 fuel to actually produce either the tier 3 or tier 4 building, and then you're still going to want to need at least 55 if you're going to get for a T70, or you know, eventually you really want to be getting out your Su-85. So he's got time to play with this fuel, but he needs to upgrade sooner rather than later. So here comes his Zis gun on the field now as well, which is kind of good, because if he can get off a nice barrage, that's going to do a lot of damage, and he's got the munitions there as well, which is happy days. But there we are. So he's moved again. He's capping with both these units, and there's another unit there. It's not appropriate. There's no forces there for him to contest with, so he doesn't need to be sending that many guys there. But here we are. I mean, here comes the Flamer half track, and these guys are probably gonna have to get out of here pretty quickly. They're probably gonna throw some 18 nades, but here comes the upgraded Grenadiers. This LMG is great. It's gonna start pinning them. It's gonna do a lot of damage. There's the 18 nade off on this guy, but he can probably float around. He knows he's float around if he wants to, and he's got this nice infantry push here. Oh, lovely satchel charge. This satchel charge is gonna catch them. Oh, wow. Brilliant play again. That penal squad is just hugely paid for itself. That's 2 squad wipes he's got now in 10 minutes, which is massive damage. You can actually see he's backed up with some shock troops now as well. Shock troops are a little bit useless against this composition right there, but I mean, if you can get them in a nice position away from the vehicles, happy days, especially if you can bet them up as well. Now, on the left-hand side of the map, we see the guards being pushed off, and they've actually dropped their DP light machine gun. Bad times. I mean, that was a 60 munitions upgrade, and he just lost it, which is terrible, and the worst thing is he gave it away. So effectively, if you think about it that way, it's kind of like 120 munitions he's lost, because he's given 60 to the opponent as well. So we see his forces are a bit spread out. As this gun is facing there, I think he was anticipating the flank. Sniper's in the building. Happy days for that guy being in the building. Okay, let's have a look around here. These guys are capping up here now as well. Again, this cutoff is taken. I'm going to take the fog of war off real quick. Yeah, it's pretty much undefended. There's one guy over there. If he made a concerted effort, he could have taken that back and had the extra resources income from there as well. This is why you should focus all of your troops in the middle. Okay, there's plenty of cutoffs in the middle. There's no cutoffs on the actual sides themselves. Sides you should just use as a diversionary tactic or just a capping tactic. But there we are. I mean, that's the way it is. So his unit's going for this cutoff now down here, which is nice. But he's not going to be cutting off much for the actual opposition, so it's not a huge advantage. But here we go. We have a nice little sort of fight here, nice little conclave around here. He's going to eat the rifle nade. There's no damage really there at all. They do have higher armor because obviously they've got the massive gun they're hiding behind. And you might get cut off here actually. This shock troops is going for it. He's going to chase him after. No, he's going to get away. No! Ooh! Bad loss again. I mean, it looks like AlibiFire is doing a lot of the legwork here. You see we've got 2 guards. There's this huge infantry amount from our friend over here, Wolflite. But he's not using it to its full potential. There's no big push. There's no sort of massive flank of a couple of squads. He's got a lot of guys backing base, a lot of guys backing base. He's only got 3 units out in the field, really, which is bad. It is bad. This guy needs to get out. He's pinned. He's not going to be getting unpinned anytime soon. He has got his flank coming around, but I mean, there's enough here to really deal with him. He needs to move this pack. The enemy needs to move this pack again. There we are. There's that. The flame half track was coming to do a nice bit of damage. He really needs to get this guy out. I don't know if he's going to make it out, which is, again, it's a loss of not only 240 manpower. Oh, no, he's going out. He's not chasing. Okay. But it would have been another 20 munitions again. That's where you need to be careful of your upgrade troops. So these guys, very easily pushed off. Look, yeah, he didn't even need to take his MG. He was just using his LMG guy, and he pushed him away. There we are. I mean, these penal squads now, the penal tanners, take out that packet very nicely. What I would do if I was this guy, I'd throw a satchel charge on it. Because it's going to destroy it. Again, it's denying them that investment that they've made. And I'm going to do another quick little pause here. I need to look at the tactical map just to show you guys what exactly is going on. So the initial focus that they had was to fight on this sort of right-hand side of the map, depending on where you are. There you go. So they focused on the right-hand side of the map, which is fine. But you can see the forces, like I say, firstly, Wolflite's had his forces in his base way too long. They're doing nothing there. They're an absolute waste whilst they're in base, because they're not fighting, they're not defending, they're not capping. You always need units to be doing something. Even if you can't really afford to reinforce your guy, and you want to sort of go cap a point near you, as long as it's safe, do it. But at the moment, like I say, he's got a massive waste of resources there, and meanwhile his partner does seem to be doing quite a bit of the legwork. But as I say, we'll carry on. I mean, you can see what the Germans have done here as well. Now the Germans have done quite nicely. They've pushed up all this left-hand side. So I shouldn't be pointing with my hand. You can't see where my hand's going. They've managed to push up all the way into the left-hand side, and actually right outside now Wolflite's base. They're controlling this middle very nicely with emplacements and this mobility. It's a nice combination of the half track there pushing away the infantry, as well as they've just got every composition they need there to defend against. Now, what do you do against this? There's a few different ways. I mean, right now a T-70 would be huge, but you don't quite know. I think the fuel is around about equal, maybe a little bit less, because the Germans have pumped out quite a few vehicles. Wolflite's partner did pump out a scout car, really, but they shouldn't be suffering for fuel at the moment. As we can see, he's from 228 now, with 429 manpower to spare, so he should be building. I mean, I think one of the mistakes he made was making the second engineer squad. He didn't really need it. He wasn't capping up many places. He wasn't planning enough mines. He didn't need the building straight away. So that's a bit of a waste. He's got all these concept squads, which is nice with Hit the Dirt. They're going to get some veterancy eventually, but it's 15 minutes into the game nearly, and he's only got two of the squads vetted up. So, nope. I lied, it's 3. I couldn't see the retreat thing there. But as they gain this veterancy, that's when they become that difficult, that mean, horrible, tanky but damage-dealing unit where if anything runs into the trap, hit the dirt and you're fine, you know. And now is the time to take advantage of Hit the Dirt as well. There's no heavy vehicles on the field, so there's no chance of being run over. There's no. I mean, he's got the the flame half track. But he's got the guards. If he's using the guards smartly, he can actually sort of just keep them all together and do this big push. But we'll see what Wolflite does now. I mean, he's making this big push. You can tell these sort of pushes where they just select all and right-click down here and hope for the best. So, you know, he could have, again, like you can see he selected all of his units. This isn't really a good idea. I mean, I don't know if he's paying attention, Hauser. I mean, but he should have got these guys out there as soon as he's seen this blob coming out. He might go down. There you go. He's gone down, which is just poor by Horser, but you know it's very easy to pay them. This AT gun right now, this AT gun needs to. Oh, he's 3 munitions away. Let's see if he actually uses the barrage. If he barrages this guy, it's happy days. No, too late. Unfortunately, this flame half track is very easy flanking this guy. I don't know why he was so out of our position and no support as well. That's the main thing that you can see with the German players. What they're doing is they're supporting their setup weapons. It's very easy to flank in this game, especially if you know how to do it, if you do it right and en masse. So as we say, we've actually got the S285 out for his friend AlibiFire, which is good timing for him. I'm just going to have a quick look at AlibiFire's units. Okay, so he's got 2 shocks, he's got his battalions, he's got 1 conscript squad as well. So I mean, that's very anti-infantry, plus he's got this S285 to support him. However, if we change back to Wolflite, it's very, very anti-infantry. Guards are a soft counter to light vehicles, which means they're not great. They do have a very, very useful button ability, but it's not great. I mean, you can see now, these guys will probably get pushed off just by this Panzer Grenadier unit alone. Anyway, he's running away. As he's running away, he's not firing at all, which means useless. There you are, but now he's had to force him back. He's got the MG in the house, which is nice. Now these guys are going to start taking a bit of damage. SU-85 getting involved over there as well. It's going to do some splash damage around. Is that a nice nade? No. Didn't do enough damage. Be very careful when you're throwing your grenades. If the units are spread out, say there's like, okay, now is a good time to throw a grenade because those guys are right next to each other. But if you was to throw a grenade over here, you might only catch 2, maybe 3 at most with any grenade. So it's something to be aware of. You do see the strafing run out now. And pause. Important, guys. Strafing run sucks. It does. But it's in the game. It might get fixed. Well, apparently it is going to get fixed. But until that point, you must know how to play against it. He must have seen the smoke coming in, and he has hit the dirt. What the hit the dirt allows you to do is to ignore suppression, if you're not already suppressed. If he hit the dirt with all those troops, he would not be suppressed right now. He would not be floundering away and just losing all these guys. Needlessly, really, because he's not really effectively doing anything there, and he's just been 120 munitions. He's going to be stuck there for a couple of minutes if he just leaves these troops here. One thing to note with hit the dirt, and if you're going to be using it against the strafe, is you do take a lot of damage from those strafes. You can't just hit the dirt and be like, I'll sit there for the next 5 minutes, I'll be fine. Ha ha ha. No, doesn't happen. How do you counter though these strafing runs? Interesting point. Half tracks with their upgunned 50 cal machine guns. I can't quite remember. It's 90 munitions, but it's a very cheap vehicle, and it's very, very good when you use it with hit the dirt doctrine, because you're going to have a lot of infantry in the field. That's just the nature of that doctrine. You can reinforce off that half track very easily. If you keep it alive, keep it in the back, and sort of retreat, come back to that point. It saves a lot of time from having to go away, so you've still got plenty of time to go capping, keep the pressure on, etc, etc, etc. Plus, it shoots down planes in around about sort of two loops, roughly. It depends about where you are. Another side note as well, any vehicle that's upgraded with an MC42 turret, so that's most of the German vehicles, and then the ISU 152 and the IS2, both they all have the MC42 upgrade, and those guys will shoot down planes as well. So bear that in mind, guys. I mean, it is difficult to counter airplanes as Soviet, but you need to learn how to do it. We do see this P4 out in the field now. So we'll see. He's going chasing straight for this S-35. It's not the best idea. I think he should. No, it's not a bad idea. He's allowed the S-35 get a first shot off. Looks a lot of damage. He's backed up there as well. If he microed this S-35, he started chasing a little bit early. Might finish him off anyway, actually. Missed shot there, missed opportunity. So this one guard's rifle, if he had the munitions, he could have actually just buttoned it right there. It doesn't matter. It goes down to S-35. Nice play again by AlibiFire. So over here now, these guys, look, terrible. Oh, there you go. Look, melted. Look, melted. Huge amount of damage. That's very nearly unrecoverable. They have got a triple cap down at the moment, but it's you know, the infantry that they're losing as compared to the Ostia is way too large at the moment. The Ostia did lose a couple of units early on, but there we go. And I'm going to turn the fog of war off real quick, just to sort of show the the OPs and things. So we've got fuel cache down here, another fuel cache over here. One did go down earlier on, obviously. We've got a fuel cache over here and a missions point here as well. So they're built by AlibiFire. So Wolflite hasn't actually been that supportive in terms of helping out with the cost. They do cost, you know, they cost quite a bit. Okay, so this machine gun needs to get out now. He's been countered by this Vet 2 now with 13 kills. Is nice flame track. These guys are gonna flounder, wait for this MG to burn out, run away. So there you go, let's run out. And now they can sort of turn and focus, maybe if they wanted to. These shock troops do a lot of damage, and they are unupgraded without any veterancy. This machine gun, he's going rogue. He's gonna go right down the throats and see what he can do here. Okay, and we have got one of the conscripts out there capping, which is nice. Okay, another guard's rifle. Pause. Massive pause. Why? Because guards rifles are not counters to anything. Okay, And when you think about this clearly, they've got decent anti-infantry, they've got some decent anti-light tank, but they're not great at either one. You know, a Panzergrenadier squadron run in there and sort of wipe them out, even with the upgrade. And if they micro a light vehicle properly, they won't be doing enough damage. Especially heavy vehicle will run over them. They're really useful for using the button ability. But other than that, late game, they start really dropping off. They're expensive to reinforce. They're 30 manpower to actually reinforce and 360 to call in. You could have been using these resources a lot better. I mean, you see, it's very, very manpower heavy, and he's floating a lot of fuel. This late in the game, you need to have some sort of armor presence. He has got his T-70 out, which is going to come out. But I mean, there's P4s. Well, there was a P4 in the field. We know that they've got enough fuel for probably another P4 because the other guy can get one. Let's see what this T-70 can do. Is it the right option to get? Debatable. Depends on your micro and skill is. There's a lot of infantry about, so we can get Shrek'd quite easily. But then the Panzergrenadiers, you might force them to actually upgrade, which is nice to make your opponent change to your tactics. I don't know if it's going to be. It's not the right timing for it though, because look, he's got 190 fuel, which means he could have bought this 190 fuel ago. You know, you see what I mean? So it doesn't have that impact that it would have had. We'll see how we go. I mean, what I would have probably seen, I'd like to have seen first actually, was probably the half track, because that's what he needed more. He needed that reinforced point on the field, and you know, then he needed the anti-armor, which is you need to go to tier 4. In any team game, you can't really stick in tier 3 unless you're winning comfortably and you want to push that lead. If you're about even, or if you're a little bit behind, don't build tier 3. Don't build tier 3. Do not build tier 3. Alright, down here then, these conscripts are engaging this half track. A bit of a stalemate there. Shock troops. Was that a smoke grenade? That's a nice little smoke grenade to get away. Possibly this machine gun. This machine gun is getting poked away now with the T-70. We just pack gun right there though, so the flame half track is going to come and start having a little sniff at these guards, which are going to go down so quickly. Look, so quickly. That's why they're not a great anti-light tank vehicle option. This penal squad level vet 3, which is very nice. The shock troops. Again, shock troops are alright. But it's the same problem as with the guards. I mean, shock troops are a little bit more viable than guards late game, especially with veteranship, because they will just eat up Panzergrenadiers massively. But you know, they've got no anti-vehicle whatsoever, so that's why it's difficult using them middle of the game. Okay, so we've got one rogue conscript squad wandering around. Again, look at this. Look at this. Huge waste of people, manpower. He didn't get the. He hasn't actually got the medic upgrade, but his ally does. He could leave these troops over there. At least they'll be doing something. At least be a little bit worth it. So, or have a little bit of worth. So, nice. Again, his partner's doing all the damage here. AlibiFire does a nice little Katusha down there and takes out that pack squad, but unfortunately, you know, it's 2 P4s. Easy enough flanking this S85, which means this T-70's got nowhere to go. He's got no friends, nowhere to play. He finds another pack gun, he's going to get a shot there. These guys are going to have to get out though. He might be able to pick off their squad, but no. I mean, it's bad going there for him. He hasn't used hit the dirt here. She could have used hit the dirt. Hit the dirt stacks with cover. So if you're in red cover and you hit the dirt, you're not going to be getting as good as bonus as if you're in green cover and you hit the dirt. Interesting little point there for you guys. These flames are going to come in. Not going to be doing enough damage. Look, he's run straight past them even. He didn't even pay attention. So he's in that point where he's like, oh, I need to go and get the VPs, or I need to go and cap this. So that's going down. I missed the T-70 going down, but that was inevitable from these 2 P4s. Who continue poking away, and things are looking bleak. There's no counter at the moment for these P4s because that one Su-85 went down. I mean, I do almost feel a little bit bad for AlibiFire. He's done the right things. He's played very well, but unfortunately, Wolflite just couldn't do the damage to support his play. So another nice little Katusha coming in. He's gone and stolen this pack, which is a desperation move. He's going to fire off one shot. Nope. Didn't even fire off a shot, so that's a waste of units there again. I mean, he could even just destroy the pack if he wants to, because he knows there's no vehicles in the field that he needs to counter. However, he might be able to get a nice... No, I mean, they could have gone for it. Oh, bet 3 now for this flame half track. If he was able to button that a little bit longer and throw a satchel charge, he could have got either one of these vehicles down very easily. It just takes a lot of communication and team play, and a bit of practice to pull it off as well. But there we are. And a quick tip as well about the actual buttoning of a vehicle. If you button a vehicle and then you move straight after, you'll automatically unbutton the vehicle. You need to button the vehicle and stand still. And if you're doing it at max range, they might sort of slip out of range because there's a slight delay in the user input as well. So they have backed these guys into a bit of a corner now. But you've got to sort of think who's really struggling more. There's another P4 and another Flame Hard Trap with Reactive guys. I mean, you can see this is very much a good game. This one T-34 is not going to do... one T-34 can't take out a P4 on its own anyway. If he came down here and tried to ram, he wouldn't be doing much. Missed that. Didn't see if that took out anything. I always miss another waste. Again, these desperation throwaway munitions. But look at this float. It's a huge amount of float. I'm going to pause real quick. What could he have done with this float? He needed to go tier 4. That was very, very important. He needed to use his conscripts a lot better. I'm actually going to continue playing. The thing is, this game is going to end soon. We're down to 4 units now for Wolflite. And they just didn't secure their advantage enough. So early on, he had the right idea where he was planning up some mines around the locations that he was actually taking. But there's no MGs to hold down any position. He did have that one MG which he stole. But it wasn't enough to sort of lock down any place. And that's what they needed to lock down places. T-70 is great as well for locking down because it's so versatile, so mobile. It can nip in and sort of take out a capping unit. But no, you can see they push right back now. There's no real hope of coming back because I'm going to have a quick look at AlibiFire. And yeah, AlibiFire is struggling as well now. He's lost most of his units, which is sad. And shock troops, they're very expensive. If you are comfortable using them and know how to use them, happy days. A lot of people don't. Don't feel ashamed by that. It's something you have to practice too. The game's over there. Look, turn Fog of War off real quick. You can see that there's just immeasurable forces from the Austere coming out. So yeah, I mean that was the game. I mean, it's difficult to sort of give 1 or 2 tips that would have changed the entire course of the match. But if I had to give something to AlibiFire, I'd say you need to be more aware of your units, especially when you're capping with them. You need to make sure that you're... one of the things you can do is attack move to places, so if you do encounter a troop, at least you're going to be attacking it, and you're going to get that noise update to sort of say you're engaged or you're losing troops, rather than just sending them blindly past doing no damage whatsoever. It's not a great strategy, but especially if you're learning to sort of really look after all of your units, then it's a bit better there. The other thing then as well is to have a clear sort of concise strategy before you go into the game. What you want to be doing is making your opponents adjust to your game rather than you adjusting to theirs. So the fuel you had there was wasted because you used so many guards. You were buying so many guards, you're trying to reinforce everything, you weren't using your medical station at all as well. So if you would incorporate all those different things, you'd have had that T-70 out minutes and minutes and minutes ago, which would have been a perfect counter for those pesky flaming half-tracks. Would have taken down that upgraded scout car. Be careful, because 2 upgraded scout cars will take down your T-70. Especially if they've got veterancy as well, they'll start tearing it apart. However, like I say, it just came down to timing, I think. Timing and awareness. So there's no magic button. You can't download a program that gives you timing and awareness. You just sort of have to feel the meta of the game, feel how much fuel that they've got, how much fuel have you got. You're going to sort of think, right, I know they're going to get a Panzer IV soon. My T-70 would be debunked if I get it now, so I should just go straight to tier 4 and get actual decent anti-tank. There we are. There's my thoughts on the game, guys. Wolflite, hopefully you've sort of watched this and get a little bit from it, and hopefully you guys at home do too. But there we are. I'll get some more content up today, hopefully, guys. Challenge just launched. I've got a new banner up there, which is kind of basic, but hey, I did it. I don't make stuff that much, and I made that banner. And that's about it, I guess, for now, guys. So thanks very much for tuning in, and I will see you all guys next time.